that tariffs have been a key factor in making the United States rich, strong, powerful, and safe. He has highlighted that tariffs, which have historically been used by other countries against the U.S., are now a strategic advantage for the country due to the policies he has implemented. Trump has pointed to economic gains under his administration, claiming that tariffs have contributed to a record high stock market, increased 401k returns, and a reduction in inflation prices and taxes. He has also noted that U.S. education has been brought back to the United States and national security has been strengthened with a more powerful military and enhanced border security. The president has argued that these measures have restored America's global standing, claiming the country is now respected again and no longer a poor and pathetic laughingstock. Trump has also expressed his concerns over challenges to his tariff policies in the U.S. Supreme Court, urging prayers for the justices to make decisions that will protect America's interests. Now for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Peter Cardillo. He's a chief market economist at Spartan Capital Securities, joins us live from New York. Thank you very much, Peter, for joining us again. Good to see you. Peter, now looking at this, to what extent has President Trump's tariff policies actually contributed to U.S.'s economic growth, as well as stock market gains and reduced inflation?
Well, let's start by saying that the tariffs obviously have a positive effect and a negative effect. The positive effect is that the trade deficit is shrinking and shrinking rather fast. The negative effect is that we have sticky inflation. Inflation driven by the tariffs is hurting the lower income or lower earning families of the United States. The wealthy really don't feel the pinch of this sticky inflation. And so we have a type K growth economy, which means that certain earners are doing well while others are struggling. And so, again, you know, they serve a purpose, but they also have a damaging effect. And we're seeing that right now.
And Peter, how might this long-term, what are the long-term impact of tariffs on U.S. trade relationship, supply chains, consumer prices?
Well, again, you know, if the longer, according to the administration, according to Trump, these Trumps are here to stay. The tariffs are here to stay. And so if the tariffs are here to stay, you know, unless companies begin to absorb the higher cost, the consumer is going to be stuck with higher inflation. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to have galloping inflation. No, it's going to be an annoying inflation, the type of inflation that we have now. Of course, there's been certain items that have gone through the roof. For instance, some of the agricultural prices. But again, you know, he is making deals with China, and China has become a big buyer again of our soybeans, etc. And so that should help bring down some of the prices going forward. But in other circumstances, it's going to take a while. And so again, I say it's you know, it's positive. It's a positive and a negative. Is it making the United States richer? Well, in terms of the trade deficit, yes. Is it hurting the consumer? Yes. Has it created an uneven economy? Yes.
And building on that, how has this overall President Trump's tariff policies affected economic stability and competitiveness in U.S.?
Well, I think it's, to a certain degree, actually helped it, and of course, if you look at the recent, the last trade numbers, you'll see our exports have exploded while our imports are down, obviously. So that's good news. That's not bad news. And that's because of the tariffs. But again, it has that negative effect, and that is the inflationary impact of it. Do I believe that these tariffs will be ongoing? No, I think they'll be lifted somewhere along the line. I think once Trump meets his goal of basically, if possible, I'm not sure if he can do it, but his aim is to wipe out the trade deficit and have a surplus. I think then, things will change. Could it happen? Possibly, but it could mean some more pain for the consumer.
And lastly, what are the potential risks and benefits of, President of U.S. using tariffs as a strategic tool for national security, economic policy, and how should policymakers balance these priorities?
Well, it basically, as a tool of protecting the United States, it sort of isolates the United States. Anytime you have a trade war and you have huge tariffs, that sort of isolates you. But by the same token, it has some benefits, as we discussed before. In terms of policymakers, the parties that we have in the United States are not really fighting it. Certainly the Republicans are not. The Democrats, to a certain degree, have not really made a big fuss over this. And I suspect it's because they have seen some benefits. Of course, again, there is the negative side of it. But by and large, I would say that is it protecting the United States from violence? I don't think so. Is it protecting
Yes.
the United States from
Yes, Peter, with
being
that,
more competitive? To a certain degree, I think it is. And so, again, it has its good points and its bad points. But all in all, if you look at what's happening in the stock market, certainly the market doesn't seem to care about it. The market has been doing very well. Yes, we've had some minor
Peter, with that,
corrections, but not, anything to really do with the tariffs at this state.